Hello students, now I will discuss a poem written by William Blake. The name of the poem is The Lamb. William Blake was born on 28 November 1757 and died 12 August 1827. He was an English poet, painter and at the same time printmaker, largely unrecognized in his lifetime. There are many poems who were not so popular or recognized in his lifetime, but like them, Blake has become a seminal figure in the history of English and visual art of the Romantic age. He produced a diverse and symbolically rich collection of works which embraced the imagination as the body of God or human existence itself. He wrote many poems. Some of the most popular poems and anthologies are Song of Innocence and Experiences, 1794, London, Jerusalem, The Chimney Sweeper, A Poison Tree. He wrote also philosophical and prophetic books like The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, 1790. And there we also find some visual and art paintings which are very celebrated, like The Ancient Days, 1794, the great Red Dragon paintings, 1803 to 1805, Newton, 1795, illustration of the books of Job, 1826, and many more. The list will be much long. I have just mentioned you the most popular and highly praised works of William Blake. Blake did not win any formal award during his lifetime because he is highly eccentric, visionary, and art were considerably far before his times. He lived and died in relatively poverty and obscurity, entirely unrecognized by the major institutions of 18th and 19th century. Still, he gained or regained popularity after his death. And William Blake's poem, The Lamb, which I will discuss now, is taken from the self-published collection of Songs of Innocence, published in 1794. The Lamb is a lyrical poem in the form of pastoral rhyme. A pastoral rhyme typically refers to a piece of literature or the music. A piece of literature or music that combines the idealization of rural and country life with the theme of religious and spiritual devotion. So, it uses traditional rural imagery, shepherds, meadows, streams, gentle animals, to evoke an idealized, peaceful view of nature. It utilizes a simple hymn or song-like rhythm and the question and answer structure modeled directly after children's church rhymes of 18th century. This type of poem was not popular in that time, but later it became very popular. As a didactic poem, it is a didactic poem. It is designed to teach a moral and spiritual lesson, using simple languages to explain the complex things or the complex religious truths. It is written primarily in trochaic trimeter. This means the lines have stressed and unstressed pattern. Little lamb who made thee, giving it a rhythmic nursery rhyme-like quality. It uses simple rhyming couplets, A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E, making it easy to memorize and recite both. The first and the last two lines of each stanza repeats, the little lamb who made thee. Dost you know who made thee? Mimicking a musical chorus or a child prayer. All this makes the poem very attractive. Now I will go through the poem in Bengali. Little lamb, who made the thee? Who made thee? Thee means you. It is an archaic form of English. ছোট্ট মেষশাবক বা ভেড়ার ছানা, কে তোমাকে তৈরি করেছে? Dost you know who made thee? Or do you know who made you? তুমি কি জানো কে তোমাকে সৃষ্টি করেছে? Gave thee life and bid thee life. তিনি তোমাকে জীবন দিয়েছেন এবং তোমাকে যে খেতে বলেছেন, তুমি কি তাকে জানো? বাই দ্য স্ট্রিম অফ দ্য ওভার দ্য মেডো, ঝর্নার পাশে ও তৃণভূমির ওপরে। গেভ দি ক্লোদিং অফ দ্য ডিলাইট, গেভ ইউ মানে তোমাকে যে দিয়েছেন আনন্দের এই পোশাক, এখানে ওই ভেড়ার পশমকে বোঝানো হয়েছে। সফটেস্ট ক্লোদিংস উলি ব্রাইট, সবচেয়ে নরম পোশাক, পশমি এবং উজ্জ্বল। গেভ দি সাচ এ টেন্ডার ভয়েস, তোমাকে এরকম একটা মধুর আওয়াজ দিয়েছে, নম্র আওয়াজ দিয়েছে, কোমল আওয়াজ দিয়েছে বা মিষ্টি কণ্ঠস্বর দিয়েছে। মেকিং অল দ্য ভেলস রিজয়েস, যে আওয়াজ সমস্ত উপত্যকাকে আনন্দে মুখরিত করে তোলে। লিটল ল্যাম্ব হু মেড দি, ছোট্ট মেষশাবক, কে তোমাকে তৈরি করেছে? ডাস্ট ইউ নো হু মেড দি, তুমি কি জানো কে তোমাকে সৃষ্টি করেছে? দ্য স্পিকার অ্যাকচুয়ালি সাউন্ডিং লাইক অ্যান ইনোসেন্ট চাইল্ড repeatedly ask the lamb if it knows who created it. The child affectionately describes the lamb's life. Its feeding near the streams is its softly woolly coat and its gently rejoicing voice. This is literally said in the first stanza. In the second stanza, little lamb, I will tell thee, ছোট্ট মেষশাবক আমি তোমাকে বলবো। লিটল ল্যাম্ব, আই শ্যাল টেল দি, ছোট্ট মেষশাবক আমি তোমাকে বলবো। ইট ইজ কল্ড বাই দাই নেম, তোমার নামেই ডাকা হয় তাকে, তোমার নামেই ডাকা হয়। দাই মানে হচ্ছে ইয়র্স। ফর দ্য কলস হিমসেলফ আ ল্যাম্ব, কারণ তিনি নিজেকে একটি মেষশাবক বলেন, মেষশাবক বলে ডাকেন বা সম্বোধন করেন। হি ইজ মিক, হি ইজ মাইল্ড, তিনি অত্যন্ত নম্র এবং শান্ত বা দয়ালু। হি বিকেমস আ লিটল চাইল্ড, তিনি নিজেকেও একটি ছোট্ট শিশু হিসেবে দেখেছেন। যিশু পৃথিবীতে শিশুরূপেই আগমন হয়েছিল, সেই জন্য তার ছোটোবেলাটাকে এখানে তিনি মেনশন করেছেন, উল্লেখ করেছেন। আই এ চাইল্ড অ্যান্ড ইউ আ ল্যাম্ব, দাও আ ল্যাম্ব, আমি একজন শিশু আর তুমি একজন মেষশাবক। উই আর কল্ড বাই হিজ নেম, আমরা দুজনেই তার নামে পরিচিত, কারণ ঈশ্বর আমাদের সবাইকেই সৃষ্টি করেছেন। লিটল ল্যাম্ব, গড ব্লেস দি, ছোট্ট মেষশাবক, ঈশ্বর তোমাকে আশীর্বাদ করুন, ঈশ্বর তোমার মঙ্গল করুন। লিটল ল্যাম্ব, গড ব্লেস দি, ছোট্ট মেষশাবক, ঈশ্বর তোমার মঙ্গল করুন। এই রিপিটেশনগুলো আছে। দ্য স্ট্যান্ডার্স টু স্পিকার অ্যান্সার ইটস ওন কোয়েশ্চেন্স। হি এক্সপ্লেইনস দ্যাট দ্য ক্রিয়েটার ইজ জেসাস, দ্য জেসাস ক্রাইস্ট, অ্যান্ড হু ইজ অলসো নোন অ্যাজ দ্য ল্যাম্ব। Because Christ is meek, mild, and once become a child, the speaker draws a holy portrait. The child, the lamb, the Christ, all here in a beautiful state of innocence and purity. All are drawn in a portrait. All are portrayed in a same background. The poem ends with a child's blessing the poem. এই কবিতায় যিনি নিজেকে একজন শিশু হিসেবে তুলে ধরেছেন, তিনি একটা অবোধ ভেড়ার ছানাকে ঈশ্বরের মহিমা এবং সৃষ্টির সুন্দর রূপ চেনাচ্ছেন বা বোঝাচ্ছেন। খ্রিস্ট ধর্মে যিশু একটা ঈশ্বরের, যিশু খ্রিস্টকে ঈশ্বরের মেষশাবক বলা হয়। তিনি অত্যন্ত শান্ত এবং দয়ালু। এখানে শিশু, মেষশাবক এবং ঈশ্বর তিনজনই সরলতা এবং পবিত্রতাকে এক সূত্রে গাঁথা হয়েছে। The title of the lamb is perfectly justified because the animal serves as a literal subject and the structural anchor and the ultimate spiritual symbol of the poem. The poem opens with a direct address to the animal, the lamb. The first stanza describes the lamb's physical traits. It details its soft wool and tender voice and its habits, daily habits. The core theme is innocence. Lamb universally represents gentleness, purity, vulnerability. This mirrors the traits of the child speaker. It embodies the core concept of the Black Song of Innocence. It is the core key points of our core structure, that is Song of Innocence, the innocence, purity, the holiness. There are religious and biblical symbolism also. The title directly invokes the Christian concept of Jesus. Christ is traditionally known as the Lamb of God, Agnus Dei. Jesus sacrificed himself meekly, much like a sacrificial lamb. We see the title connects the three central figures of the poem: the Christ, the child, the lamb. All three shares the same name, gentle and gentle characteristics. All are woven in a same string. And the central theme of William Blake's The Lamb is the divine nature of innocence and connection to God. Innocence is presented as a holy state of being. The child speaker possesses a pure, unquestionable faith, pure, unquestionable holiness, pure, unquestionable innocence. The lamb represents complete freedom from sin. That is, no sin can or has touched the child or the lamb. The poem is divine in nature. The God is revealed through the gentleness of creation. Nature is depicted as a safe, nourishing environment. The stream and the meadow reflects the peaceful, ideal condition of the nature or the world. And we find spiritual unity in this poem. God, humanity, sacredness, nature shares a single identity. All are barred in same bracket. Jesus is called a lamb, and the lamb is a child, and child is like Jesus. This is a beautiful connection. This is a beautiful picture that helps us to understand. This creates a divine bond between the creator and the created. The Jesus and the lamb, the Jesus and we the people. The Christian meekness is bold here. Power is defined by gentleness rather than force. Christ is celebrated for becoming small, mild and weak, for humbleness, for purity, for innocence. True holiness lies in the humility and peace. A violence cannot create a peace. A violence cannot create a peaceful atmosphere. Violence cannot create holiness. So, each and every line vibrates the truth of sacredness, holiness, purity, innocence against violence. The tone of the lamb is tender, innocent and reverent. The speaker uses gentle, loving language to address the lamb. The phrase like clothing of delight show deep affection. It feels like a lullaby or a soft conversation with a pet. As I have previously said, it is like nursery rhymes. So lullaby is very common to this. Is very common in this poem. The language is simple, repetitive, and free from adult skepticism. There is no skepticism, only belief, truth, the truth of life. Short sentences reflects the uncomplicated world view of the child. The tone lacks doubts or anxiety about the world. We find the poem shifts into a tone of quiet praise into the second stanza. The repetition of God bless thee means the God bless you, creates a prayerful atmosphere. We understand there is a prayer. It celebrates the goodness of God with pure, happy devotion. While it reads on the surface as a pastoral nursery rhymes, it serves as a fundamental text of Blake's complex spiritual mythology. So it is not mere a pastoral nursery rhymes. In Blake's philosophy, innocence and experience are two contrary states of human soul. It is very common. Lamb represents an unfallen world of primal unity. Here the human, the child, the natural, the lamb, and the divine Christ exist in a harmonious, seamless synthesis. The perspective in this poem is deliberately limited. The child speaker is blind to the suffering, exploitation, and institutional cruelty, ruthlessness, and exposes elsewhere in the songs of innocence, such as The Chimney Sweeper. The Chimney Sweeper is another poem of William Blake. It represents a psychological state of pure, unattained vulnerability before the inevitable fall into the corruption of eruptions, of experiences. The core of the poem is academic, and significance lies in the radical theology of compression, or the theological compression. Blake collapses the traditional distance between the God and his creation into the horizontal trinity of identity. A gentle animal fed by the stream or the clothes in the soft wool, an innocent human being who possess a intuitive spiritual knowledge. A God is manifested not as an authoritative patriarch, but as a meek and mild child. All are amalgamated, all are mixed with the same character. In general, we find God, we pray God, we feel God from a distance, but here they are very close. The Creator and the created are very close. By declaring, I a child and you a lamb, we are called by the name. Blake posits that the divine spark is innocent. The divine spark exists within the nature and humanity, rejecting the orthodox Christian view of distant judgment and deity. God lives or exists not in distance. It actually is very close to us. The poem consists of two 10-line stanzas creating a neat symmetrical architecture. Stanza 1 possesses the essential question of creation, and stanza 2 provides the intuitive answers that satisfy us. Written primarily in trochaic trimeter, the following rhymes gives the poem its leading and the song-like quality. And Blake relies heavily on the monosyllabic words and structural repetition. This artistic economy, the artistic style, avoids the dense Latinate vocabulary of Englishment poetry, choosing instead of universal language of emotional immediacy. All this makes the poem so attractive. And now we find that critical counterpart is the lamb versus the tiger. The lamb is incomplete without reinforcing the composition pieces or the companion pieces from the Song of Experience, the tiger. In next video, I will discuss the tiger. While tiger answers its own question with absolute certainty, the tiger is a cascade of unanswered, terrifying questions of the lamb. Did he who made this lamb make thee? Together they form, the tiger and the lamb, together they form a complex cosmic inquiry. The lamb celebrates the nurturing, passive aspects of divine, while the tiger confronts the ferocious, energetic and destructive forces of the universe. Blake argues that a complete understanding of existence requires synthesizing both of these contrary states. Without tiger, lamb is incomplete, and without lamb, tiger is incomplete. And now in conclusion, we can say, lamb is far more than a simple pastoral lyric. It is a profound philosophical meditation on the existence of God in the vulnerable elements of creation. Through deliberate formal simplicity, Blake creates a radical vision of a universe bound together by love, gentleness and mutual identity, and vision that stands as a fragile bulwark against the mechanical industrial world of experience. So everything exists in this world: violence, sacredness, the creation like lamb, the creation like tiger, and above all the Jesus who created us. So the creator and the created both exist in this universe with all their traits, and the sharp contrast of the traits or the features of the creations actually make the bond more strong. And in this poem we also learn that God or the creator is not, he does not exist far, far more from us. He is not an object or elements who dwells very remote. Actually, all these creator, all these elements in the creation and the creator lives together with a strong bonding.